Namaskar and welcome to StudyIQ. I am your friend Rahul Saigaonker. Where are you currently? Are you in state of Himachal Pradesh or Uttarakhand? If the answer is yes, then you must have seen these visuals live. These are some of the pictures from devastating flash floods that occurred in northern Himalayan states in recent times. The pictures are quite grim. The news is very sad. Recently, 81 people have lost their life to rain fury in Himachal, Uttarakhand and Punjab due to flash floods. In this video lecture, we'll try to analyze why the incidences of flash floods have become so extensive in northern Himalayan states. Now you're thinking, sir, I think I already know one of the reasons. One of the reasons is Indian monsoon. Yes, Indian monsoon is quite peculiar. In a short span of 3 to 4 months, we get extensive amount of water or extensive amount of rainfall, which is one of the reasons. But that would be a very simpler explanation. In this lecture, we'll try to dissect this issue and understand the bigger picture. We'll also try to understand that are we awaiting further disasters in northern Himalayan states? That is going to be the complete agenda of our discussion today. All right, let's begin. But before that, there is a small notice for all the UPSC civil services aspirants. StudyIQ is giving you P2I program, prelims to interview program for the August month. It is beginning from 23rd August. This is the most comprehensive program for your UPSC CSE preparation. For all the details, just visit our website www.studyiq.com. Do not forget to use my code RAHULLIFE to get maximum discounts whenever you check out. All right? Enroll soon. I'll see you in the class. Right, let's begin. As I told you, the news has been quite sad. Monsoon mayhem is seen in the northern Himalayan states. In states of Uttarakhand, Himachal and Punjab, there have been flash floods which have led to a lot of devastation. More than 80 people have lost their lives. Millions of rupees worth of property has been destroyed. If you look at Himachal Pradesh, we can see some of the numbers here. Himachal has already received 742 mm of rainfall in just 54 days from June 1st, from the beginning of monsoon. If you look at the entire monsoon season average for Himachal Pradesh, the long-term average, it is about 730 mm rainfall between June 1 and September 30. We are right now in August 2nd week, August 3rd week probably, right? Now, even before August, Himachal has received 742 mm rainfall. The state government data has revealed that Himachal Pradesh has already experienced more than 180 incidents of landslides and flash floods. Now you are thinking, sir, I do know that the Himalayan topography, Himalayan ecology is quite fragile. So these numbers did not surprise me a lot. And you already told one of the reasons, rainfall, yes. But what are some other reasons why landslides, mudslides, flash floods have become so extensive in states like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab or the Himalayan states? Why is it happening? Of course, one of the reasons is rainfall. I do understand. And many people say, sir, what can we do? There is nothing in our control, right? Rainfall is just rainfall. It's godly, right? It's depending on weather. I do not have any control over it. We'll try to understand about that as well. But we have some other anthropogenic factors which are responsible for this kind of mayhem, this kind of destruction. Anthropogenic factors connected to infrastructure, connected to indiscriminate development or unplanned expansion in Himalayan ecosystems or Himalayan ecology. Some of the reasons are unscientific slope cutting for creating roads, for creating other infrastructures. What do? They have cut slopes quite unscientifically, and whatever debris is there, that debris is simply dumped in river Bias and river Satluj, which has changed its course in many districts in these states. Apart from that, another reason is unregulated construction in all these states. These are fragile ecologies, fragile ecosystems. You do know that these are Himalayan states, so there has to be some sort of regulated construction. But the rules are violated quite flagrantly here. Rules are violated with impunity. Let me talk about some of the examples. One of the rules in these fragile systems, according to National Green Tribunal, is the height of the building can only be up to 2.5 stories. This rule is violated in many areas in Himachal Pradesh like Dharmshala, Manali, Mandi. So even now, unregulated construction activities, unregulated construction practices, they continue. Apart from this, for many infrastructural projects like road work, rail work, hydropower projects, and other power projects, a lot of indiscriminate, unplanned, unsustainable working is going on. There are so many blasting activities which are going on in this fragile topography. Tunnel digging is going on for railway lines as well as road lines. Other power projects have also been approved. If you look at any expert panel or any expert report connected to Himalayan ecosystems, Himalayan development, you will understand that this is a very fragile region, ecologically fragile region. That means we need to strictly follow the principles of sustainable development, which are seldom followed here. Now you're thinking, sir, I kind of already knew that this is happening. If you are from Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, you would have seen this for sure. But is there any other thing which is responsible for these flash floods? The factor that you first thought of, rainfall, there is another catch in it. We'll try to understand the bigger picture here. What is happening to the rainfall patterns in these regions? Recently, a paper was published in Nature which analyzed the rainfall pattern. I wouldn't say rainfall per se, but they analyzed the precipitation patterns in the mountainous regions. Now you'll see, sir, what is the difference between precipitation and rainfall? See, precipitation is basically the water coming back in the water cycle to the ground in form of what? It can be in different forms like rainfall, rain droplets. It can be in form of snowfall. It can be in form of hail, sleet, right? Now, what do you expect? In higher altitudes, especially say in the Himalayan states, I would expect that the snowfall would be more. But this paper, it gives a very grim picture. This paper has analyzed precipitation patterns not just in Himalayas, but in other mountain ranges as well. And they have highlighted that there have been incidences or cases of extreme precipitation in form of rainfall at higher elevations, meaning the snowfall has reduced there. And there is one more peculiarity. According to this paper, the region which is at very high risk, it is Himalayas rather than Alps and the Rockies. And for that, Himalayas, you do know there are many other factors which play a role in Himalayan warming. You do have the concept of ITCZ, which has impact on the trade winds, which has impact on the movement of the winds. So the additional warming related processes in Himalayas, they make it more and more vulnerable. If you think this is too technical, let's try to understand it in very simple terms. So what this paper has done is they have analyzed precipitation patterns through inputs or data from different stations. Now they have also highlighted one more thing. They have said that in Himalayas, the monitoring stations itself is missing. There are not many monitoring stations, first of all, one problem. Apart from that, whatever data they have gathered, it was from one of the weather stations which was installed at the base of Mount Everest, which has showed that this year in 2023, 75% of precipitation, it is in form of rainfall. That means this monsoon season, snowfall is less and rainfall is quite heavy. The same number for previous years was quite lower. If you look at the numbers, the precipitation in form of rainfall was 41% in 2020, 43% in 2021, 32% in 2022. That means rainfall is lesser and snowfall is more. Snowfall is more. But now things have reversed. Why? Again, because of climate change, because of other factors. What is happening in these mountain regions at higher elevations? We are looking at lesser amount of snowfall and more amount of rainfall. Now you're thinking, so then what? Same form, precipitation is precipitation. It's actually a disaster, a recipe for disaster itself. It leads to more and more disasters. If you look at these pictures, you have seen such floods. Why? We already talk about global warming. We already talk about climate change. Global warming is first of all melting the glaciers. Where are these glaciers? They are at higher elevations. If we talk about Himalayas, Himalayan glaciers are melting. Now, where will this water go? When these glaciers melt, the water would go into glacial lakes, then to the rivers. Already they are filled, they are jam-packed. Because of anthropogenic activities, the river courses are changing. More and more water is already coming by melting of glaciers. And now add to it water as rainfall is also enhancing or increasing more and more. Snowfall is reduced, rainfall is more. Rainfall does not stay at higher elevations, it comes down. So what happens? Melting of glaciers, more water, rainfall, more water. It's a recipe for disaster. That means we are looking at more and more disasters, more and more flash floods in these northern states. That's the basic conclusion from this particular discussion. Now you will say, sir, is it happening only in India? No. If we are talking about Himalayas, it is happening in other states as well, or I would say in the entire Indian subcontinent. If you look at this year's flash floods, there have been flash floods in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, flash floods in Nepal in the month of June, July, even in August. We are getting so many news of flash floods. These are some of the news snippets regarding Pakistan and Nepal. It's not just India, it's not just Himalayan Indian states, but I would say Himalayan countries are looking at more and more flash floods. The reason behind that is more rainfall and less snowfall, and the reason for that being climate change. Now the question, so what can we do? You should fight climate change. So this discussion ultimately boils down to how do we reverse the impacts of global warming and climate change. Because of average temperature of the earth increasing, glaciers are melting, rainfall patterns are changing at the higher elevations as well. We have to be prepared for that. We need to brace for these problems and ensure that we strictly follow principles of sustainable development in these fragile areas, fragile topography. That's the ultimate conclusion. That's the only answer, because there is no solution that we can come up with for tomorrow. There is no radical solution as of now. We need to fight climate change. That's the answer for many problems. All right. Right. I hope you have found this interaction fruitful. If you have found it fruitful, you can always follow me on this particular ID at the rate Rahul Sai 222. If you have any queries, doubts, etc., you can reach out to me on IG. I do respond on Saturdays and Sundays. Thank you again. Jai Hind.